Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys can see my screen. Remember, if you have any question, feel free to ask, but we shall do the Q&A at the end of the session. I'm going to deactivate my camera. As I've said, I'm hotspotting here. Okay, I'm going to deactivate my camera. I think we are quite a number right now. So guys, once again, welcome. This is Valetax, your trusted broker. As usual, of course, before we start, it's very important to note that trading leveraged products is risky, may not be appropriate for all investors. So it involves a high level of risk to your capital, and it is obviously essential to fully understand the risks that are associated with trading. That's why you're here. That's why you are here. And that disclaimer should not scare you at all. Okay, that's basically telling you, hey, you know what, you need to educate yourself first. And coincidentally, educate yourself on what? Educate yourself on what? On risk management. On risk management. I'm not going to be very technical in this presentation. I'm going to keep it very, very easy. I understand some of you are beginners. Don't worry, you will be able to pick up a few things, not only a few things, but a lot of things. And I shall also schedule another webinar for you guys as well. So you'll also tell me if you need another webinar. We can do it even on a weekend. I am easy even on a Saturday. No worries. We can still meet. We can still do everything well. So I hope my audio is good, guys, and you guys can hear me. Just adjusted my mics. Anyway, so why survival matters, okay? Trading, survival is key. It's very, very key, and it can even matter more than winning, especially when you are starting out your journey as a trader. So my name is Denis Mwenga, as some of you already know. I have been around this industry for some time. I think right now I might be clocking 7 years to 8 years. I'm a trader, I'm a technical analyst. I enjoy technical analysis. I also focus so much on risk management and disciplined trading. To be honest, I'll tell you, there is no grand or secret strategy, but the grand secret strategy is having proper risk management and discipline when it comes to your trading. You can use any strategy as long as you're disciplined, as long as you're managing your risk effectively, then you will survive and you will be good to go. So, looking at this triangle here, you can see from point 1, 2, and 3. So 3 being the base. Survival, this is the foundation. Everything else is built on. That is our foundation. So most people, usually believe that profits are the goal, but profits are simply the outcome. Okay. So if you are new to trading, I want you to understand that profits are the outcome. Profits are the byproduct. Profit is the byproduct of your process, not a foundation. Okay? And consistency will basically come from having a process whereby you keep on repeating good decisions. Guys talk a lot about consistency when it comes to trading. So when you hear that word consistency, you tend to think that, oh, it is consistent profit making. How am I consistently profitable? I want you to shift from that mindset. That's the common mindset that is out there. So I want you guys to shift from that typical common mindset and reverse everything. Okay? Process. Profits are an outcome of a process that involves repeating good decisions. And so this emphasizes the point that survival is the base layer of everything. If you lose your capital, then of course your strategy, your psychology, your skills, all those things are not going to matter. They're not going to matter, regardless how much good trading psychology you know, or you have read about, or you understand. No matter how best your so-called strategy is, okay, no matter how best your so-called strategy is, if you lose your capital, that's it. It's game over for you. So the final reward of a disciplined approach: profits come last, survival first, consistency second. As I had said, repeating the process of repeating, making good decisions. And if you can't do that, you have to survive in order for you to win. You can no longer continue playing in a game that you have not survived. So accounts don't usually die slowly when it comes to trading. Okay, some of you have blown accounts. It's a very harrowing experience. It can be a very challenging, a very difficult experience. It can be so bad. It can really psychologically affect you to the point that you'll say, you know what, trading is a scam. I'm not going to do trading anymore. I'm going to give up on trading. It's a scam. You'll hear guys say, trading is gambling. But what people don't know is that, when you're starting out, and even some so-called, experienced quote unquote traders, accounts do not usually die slowly. They die suddenly, you know. So you'll find someone is oversizing, which magnifies emotional stress. You're taking trades that are too large relative to your account size. Okay. You have a very small account. You're putting in huge sizes of trades. By size, I mean your bets. The sizes of your bets are very huge. You're only supposed to risk relatively 1 to 2% of your trading account. Sometimes I even say, even 1% is okay. So why do guys usually over risk? One of the reasons is greed, the desire to get quick profits. I mean, big and big profits very quickly. But when you do that, you will be making emotional decisions, and emotional decisions usually replace someone's trading plan with impulses. Okay, so you have this wonderful trading strategy, which it's also known as a trading plan, but because you are oversizing, you will tend to make emotional decisions. You will tend to act on an impulse. Okay, you have placed a trade, the trade is not going in your favor. You start moving your stop loss, or you even cancel your stop loss, or you even convince yourself, with hope. So the main emotions that drive traders: hope, fear, and greed. So when you're oversizing, those kind of emotions are going to really, really affect you. And refusing to accept losses usually turns, the small damages into huge irreversible harm. Okay. So you're holding on losing trades, hoping they come back. I'm pretty sure some of you have experienced this if you have ever traded before. If you have never traded before, it's a good thing that you're coming across this information. Okay, so I want you to know, if you start your trading journey, you have to have the heart. You should be brave enough to accept losses, but it doesn't have to be that difficult if you are using the correct size. Okay, you'll find yourself in a situation you're not really accepting the loss, but you are now evaluating the strategy, you're evaluating the trade and saying, okay, this trade is not going to work out. And you're not panicking. So you can easily go close that trade that is not going to work out, because I'm not panicking, because I have not oversized, I am not losing more than 2% of my capital. So making a loss is not going to be an issue for me at all. I can easily close the trade, jump on to the next opportunity. So this is why, risk control must happen before you start trading, not after. Before you start trading, you should be able to understand the size that you're going to trade. Once you understand the size that you're going to trade, emotional decisions are not going to get in the way, letting fear and greed override this plan. Part and parcel of the plan is deciding beforehand about making your decision about risk control. Okay, so most traders, as I said, don't lose slowly, they lose suddenly. They lose suddenly simply because risk control did not happen before they started trading. They only started thinking about risk control after they started trading, after you start placing positions. Now, risk is obviously behavior. This risk, it is not just a percentage, okay? It is revealed by your actions under pressure. What actions do you take under pressure? How do you behave under pressure? How do you react under pressure? Okay, it's not necessarily defined by that nice, beautiful spreadsheet that you have put out. Like, hey, I'm going to just risk 2%, stick between 1 to 2%, maybe risk 10%. You have a very elaborate plan as to how you're going to risk. But when the pressure comes, how are you going to how are you going to be able to maneuver? How are you going to act under pressure? Moving stop losses, adding to losers, revenge trading. These are the three typical behaviors that traders usually have when they are under pressure. Okay. You move your stops, shifting your stop loss further away to avoid taking a loss, hoping that, oh, you know what, the market is going to come back. Price is going to come back. So you find yourself, okay, I had already put on a stop loss of, let's say, $2. And then the trade is going contrary to the direction I had anticipated the market to go. So the trade is going contrary to what you had anticipated, and say, you know what, let me just increase my stop loss or reduce it. That is terrible behavior. Okay, you are adding to losers. You have placed a trade, it's not making it's not making a profit. And then instead of just closing the trade, instead of not moving that stop, you say, okay, I'm going to move this stop and I'm going to add on another trade because, the market has really come down. So I'm going to even buy some more. And yet the first trade has not yielded any positive results. So that's another behavior that is usually traders usually have when you are under pressure. And as I'd said, you are under pressure because, remember the first slide, you have not done what? You have not sized your trade correctly. You have placed a huge lot size. Okay, so you behave like that. Oh, market has come down. I'm gonna add some more. I'm gonna even move the earlier stop loss order. Revenge. Revenge trading is the other thing. Entering new trades impulsively. So you, so you have had incurred some recent losses, and now you have totally thrown the plan, your book, outside the window completely. You are now angry after moving stops, after adding to losers. You are now in a very terrible state psychologically. And when you're in that state, what you will tend to do is you'll want to revenge trade. You'll want to start placing trades even in instances where there is no real opportunity. I've seen this happening a lot. Okay. So these are some of the challenges that you will encounter. So if you are new to trading, it's either you encounter these challenges or you take this opportunity and learn and see, okay, we learned about moving stops, adding to losers, revenge trading. You ought to ask yourself, am I revenge trading at this particular moment? Am I adding to a loser? And the beautiful thing with trading is you always have that demo account there for testing these things out. You are testing yourself under pressure. How will you behave? And when it comes to our trading accounts here at Valetax, you can be able to adjust your capital in your demo account according to even the capital that you want to start trading with. Maybe I want to start trading with $1,000. For example, I can go to my demo account and say, hey, let me test and see how will I hypothetically trade if I had only $1,000. You go to your demo account, you load it up with virtual money up to $1,000 and see and monitor, do I have these patterns? Do I have the pattern of moving stops? Do I have the pattern of adding to losers? Do I have the pattern of revenge trading? You are learning yourself, you're learning your behavior under risk. Okay, how you behave when you are wrong. This is really the true definition of risk management, to be honest. How do you behave when you think you are wrong? You see? So, moving stops, adding to losers, or revenge trading, they come from discomfort. That's where they come from. So, make sure you monitor your pattern of behavior when you enter the market. Use that demo account to do that. Use that small account that you have to do that. You will be in a very, very, very good position. So, now, position size. How you control your lot size. Position size, in other words, is what we call lot size. The quantity that you want to trade, the size that you want to trade. Smaller position sizes, they just don't protect capital. They protect the quality of your decisions. Trading is about making decisions. So you want the quality of your decisions to be good. You want to be making clear decisions. So you start small, guys. You have to start small. I know you have watched that video, or what can I call it? Someone entertaining you on YouTube about that Ferrari that you can get, that Lamborghini. I understand you have these goals. You want to buy that house, you want to buy that car. I understand the marketing language that is out there. I get it. But when you come to the ground, Kenyans, we like using that term. Vitu kwa ground. We're a global broker, but I'm going to use a little bit of Swahili. Vitu kwa ground. Vitu kwa ground, for those guys who are not Kenyans, it means the situation at hand, the real life situation at hand. It's very, very different. Look, if I want to make millions from trading, which is very possible, I also have to ask myself, what is the size of my capital? What is the size of my capital? And can I be able to make those millions overnight with $100, with $1,000? No, it's not going to be possible to do that overnight. Okay, so if you don't make sure that your positions, your lots are a bit smaller when you're starting out, okay, because when they are small, you're not just protecting capital, as I've said, you are protecting the quality of your decisions. And when risk feels manageable, you stop interfering with good trades. You will let the good trades run out their course. Okay, so some traders usually place very good trades, but because your size is so big, you find the market moves by 3 points and then you are out. Like, oh, hey, let me get out. I've made enough profit. Let me jump out. No, that's not a good decision. It's a decision that you're making out of bad behavior because of your huge size that doesn't make any sense. Possibly, your huge size is being driven by your need for quick profits. So this small risk mindset will allow experimentation. It will allow you to experiment on different strategies, on your behavior, on monitoring your patterns. It will allow you to learn. It will allow you to have resilience without encountering any emotional damage. Okay? So you're getting gradually exposed. You're trying those small challenges often. You're learning from your failure. Okay? Your resilience is being boosted. Okay? So this is sort of a controlled experiment. You need to be able to importantly have a stable mind. 80% of trading, I dare say even 95% of trading is very psychological, guys. And And this entails anything to do with money. Leave trading aside. In any situation that you are dealing with money, any situation that you are dealing with money, that's the thing. It's very, very psychological. Whether you're a child, whether you're an adult, whether you are a worker, employed, whether you're a business person, dealing with money it's a very psychological thing. Even how you spend money, it's very, very psychological. So you must have a stable mind. So less interference. Basically, when you start with those small position size, you stop doing what? Micromanaging trades. This is also another thing. I see traders all the time. You're checking your phone. You're checking your MT4, MT5 platform. Has it gone up? Has it gone down? What's happening? You're micromanaging. You're micromanaging your trades. Hmm? Who likes micromanaging things anyway? All the time. You're going to go crazy. I've seen people going crazy because of this business. I have seen it. And why are you going crazy? Because of your greed, because of your fear. Fear and greed can make you go crazy. And every time you look at your trades, these are the emotions that you're doing what? Dealing with internally. Okay? So the smaller size will reduce the emotional weight of each trade, and then you'll be making clear decisions. Less fear means better execution and management. This is what you want. Okay, guys, professional growth only happens through controlled exposure, guys. Yeah, not emotional stress tests. Every time you're stress testing yourself emotionally, it's going to torture you. So your position size will really, it's equal, correlated with your emotional control. If you find yourself too emotional, that means there's a problem with your position size. There is this famous quote in the trading field. This is some legendary trader used to say this. I'm trying to remember his name. Was it Charlie Manga, or is it even Warren Buffett? He was talking about, if you fail, if you cannot sleep because of your trades, you're having sleepless nights, you keep on checking your phone, you have to reduce your risk to the point that you can get some sleep. In other words, you're saying you have to reduce your position size up to the point you can say, okay, I can now sleep. I can sleep without thinking of that trade. This is how professional growth really happens. When it's bedtime, you go ahead, you sleep without thinking about your trades. But if you find yourself, guys, you're thinking about your trades, even when you're eating, when you're driving, when you're walking, when you are sleeping, when you're interacting with others, you're just thinking about your trades. You're thinking about your trades. Just know you are on the wrong path. Okay. I usually see guys say, oh, you know what? I'm waking up at 3 a.m., 2 a.m. to check my trades. Guys, you don't need to do that. That's not how professionals operate at all. Professionals are mentally stable, psychologically stable, and that's the state of mind that you want to be in. Your mental health is very, very important, and you shouldn't let anything get in the way of your mental health, including trading. So, control your position size, you will control your emotions. And we have to understand and accept that in business, losses are normal. You cannot fail to avoid losses in business. That's a lie. That's a fall. Any business, losses are normal. Question is the size of your losses. Number one, your mindset. What's your mindset when it comes to these losses? Do you understand that losses are not a failure? They are just the cost of participation. The difference between amateur traders, guys, and professionals is that professionals simply plan their losses in advance. As I had said earlier, they control their risk before taking on the market. So, in other words, this is, planning your losses in advance. Mm. If a single loss can threaten your account, guys, the problem is usually not the strategy. This is the thing. You have to understand that if a single loss threatens your account, the problem is usually not the strategy. It is the size, your lot sizing, your position sizing. That's where the problem is. Okay. So with professionals, losses are planned. Every trade has a defined entry before exit, clearly defined. This is the price I'm going to enter the market. This is the price I'm going to exit the market in case my trade does not work out. Okay. Acceptable. Any legitimate trading strategy will incur some losses. You will incur some loss. So there is no strategy that is 100%. Oh, I've seen guys saying, my strategy is 90%, 95%. Forget about these things, guys. That's just marketing language. So when someone tells you they have a strategy that is 100%, they're trying to sell something to you. Obviously, they're trying to sell an expensive trading course to you. I understand some of you have even paid lots of money for some of these trading courses. And you're still stuck. You're still stuck because someone told you, you know what, this strategy is going to benefit you 100%. You will be making profits 100%. Guys, I hate to break it to you, but there is simply no business in this world that operates like that. Even the multi-billion-dollar companies, the billion-dollar companies, they make losses. But at the end of the day, these losses are survivable because they've been sized correctly and no single loss will threaten your account. Okay? A single loss should not threaten your account. So be in control. It's the uncontrolled losses that will usually hurt you. Be in control. That's the first thing that should be in your mind before you place a trade. Am I in control? Am I putting steps in place, protocols in place to be in control? Ladies and gentlemen, be in control. Be in charge. So this is a simple risk framework. Yeah. And this framework is very intentionally simple. And simplicity is very powerful under pressure. When you're under pressure, the first thing that we want to take away, or I would want to take, you would want to take away from yourself as a trader, whether you are experienced or not, is pressure. You want to take off some pressure from your trading. Okay? So these are simply rules that you should follow on every single trade without exception. And I hope you guys are noting this down. As I said, I'm not going to make this presentation so technical because I want even guys who do not have an idea about the technicalities of trading to be on the same page mentally, psychologically, before they even go ahead and start trading. Okay. Later on, we're going to do a much technical class on how do you calculate position size, how do you calculate this, how do you calculate that. Today we're not looking at that. Today I just want you guys to have the proper mental framework going into trading. So as I've said, the framework is intentionally simple. So number one, small risk every trade. Never risk more than you can afford to lose on a single position, on a single trade. Ask yourself, can I afford to lose 10% of my account, 50% of my account? Because guys, at first you're usually thinking of, okay, I'm risking 50% of my account. Oh, so what profit am I gonna make? No, you should ask yourself, what risk am I incurring here? Will it change my behavior? Know exactly where you are getting out before you get in. That means have a defined exit. Know exactly where you're getting out before you get in. Know the exit strategy. It's like being in a huge building. You have to understand when you walk in those, when you step inside those huge buildings in town, those skyscrapers, you have to understand Where are the emergency exits in case anything happens? But most of us usually don't think about that. We operate, we humans, we operate on an attitude like, oh, everything is okay, everything is fine. I mean, I hate to say this, God forbid, but we don't operate with the mindset of, anything can go down anytime and I might die or I might get harmed. That's why some of us just jump in the car without putting in a safety belt, without putting on the safety belt. And this is the same attitude that we come into trading with. We don't know exactly where we are going to get out before we get in. How am I going to get out in case the building is on fire? How am I going to protect myself in case this vehicle I'm in has an accident? How am I going to be safe? So in trading, you should have a defined exit before your entry. One mistake maximum. Number 3, allow yourself one error per session, not a cascade of them. Just one error, one mistake. You should be self-aware up to that point of saying, okay, I've made this one mistake, and this is going to be the maximum mistake that I've made. Maybe the mistake was moving your stop loss. Recognize that and stop moving that stop loss. Okay? Stop when emotional. If you feel reactive, frustrated, or desperate, just step away. Step away. And it's very hard to walk away when you are emotional. In anything, outside, even outside trading, when you're very emotional, it's very hard to walk away. In anything, think of anything, any situation that you have been emotional. Some people can have that strength to walk away. Some of us don't. We need time to walk away. So if you feel reactive, frustrated, or desperate, if you have these feelings, I'm just reactive, I'm just being frustrated, I'm desperate, step away. You must have the courage, I'll say, to step away. Okay, so yeah, this is the framework, and you can see it's a simple framework. So, capture it, write it down. It's going to be very, very helpful. And you see, it's very simple. Small risk every trade, having a defined exit, one mistake maximum, and stop when you're being, when you're feeling reactive, when you're feeling frustrated, when you're feeling desperate. Okay, so, and if emotions, of course, spike, as I've said, walk away, because walking away is a professional decision. It's not a weakness. It is a professional decision that you are taking. So be a pro. Being a pro trader does not mean you have millions and millions and now you're making millions. I'm a pro trader, I have these millions and millions. Forget about all that hype, guys. Forget about all that hype. Being professional simply means you can do what? You can walk away if your emotions are spiking. Being professional simply means that you have a small risk for every trade, that you have defined your exit, that you are in control. You are in charge. That is really what being professional entails. So, when it comes to risk management, I'll say risk management, what is the key takeaway today here? Winning is very optional. Survival is not. Profits are the result of a process, not the goal itself. Yeah? It's a side effect. Profits are what I'll call a side effect of your process. That's where profits come from. Profits don't come from that one single trade that you are betting your whole entire life on or your whole entire trading account on. No, it's as a result of the consistency when it comes to the quality of your decisions. And we have seen how you improve on the quality of your decisions. That is very, very important. So yeah, winning is optional, survival is not, and markets will always offer new opportunities. But only if you're still funded and mentally stable. Mm? Only if you're still funded and mentally stable, you will be able to see these new opportunities. They are always there. You'll see them. The market is operating for 24 hours, for crying out loud. This market is not, it's never gonna get closed. No one is going to close this market. Hmm? It has been there for thousands of years. It's not going away. Hmm? So you have to survive. Capital protection has to come fast, and everything else becomes possible only after that. Only after that. And as I have said, capital protection is really dependable on your behavior. And your behavior is really dictated by your mindset. And if you have noticed in this presentation, really, what I am addressing in this class is your mindset. Very, very important. I even feel back like I even feel like going back and addressing some of these key points. So survive always, protect that capital first. Opportunities will always return. Always return. So yes, watch that risk. Hmm? Remember the first slide? Okay. So thank you very much for your time and attention, guys. And this basically concludes the core message. And I'm now opening the floor for questions, whether technical, psychological, practical. Feel free to ask any question. Feel free to ask any question. So I'm just trying to go back to the first slide as you're thinking of any question to ask. And as I said, I'm keeping this simple. As you can see, I've kept it very simple, nothing technical, because I want all of us to be on the same page. This learning is a journey, okay? Assume you're taking a journey with Valetax. And in this journey, the most important thing that we want to do here at Valetax is to shape your mindset first, to make your mind be ready for trading. That's the goal of my education, of how I conduct education. If you're my student, I need my students to be ready mentally, because guys are coming into trading with all manner of beliefs, false beliefs. And in trading, we usually say we trade our beliefs. That's what we trade. We trade our beliefs. And so you're coming to trading with all manner of beliefs. Hmm? What beliefs have you picked up out there? So again, I really love this pyramid here, this triangle, survival first, which is, the foundation. Everything else is built on consistency, which involves repeatable process that builds lasting results. So as I'd said, consistency comes from repeating good decisions. And then the outcome of number 3 and number 2, the byproduct is profits. That's the byproduct. Profits do not come from that single trade, from that one trade. They come from a number of trades whereby you have made good decisions. You have that, process of making quality decisions. I'm looking to see whether there are any questions. I can't see any questions here so far. So far, I can't see any questions. So that means that you guys you understand, basically, you understand what we're trying to do here, we're trying to achieve here. So I want us to check out something on the website very quickly. So you're going to just excuse me a little bit. I'm going to change my screen to check out. Can see we have 15 minutes to go. Just a moment. There. So again, remember, I am open to Q&A. Now, for many of you, some of you have contacted me through my number directly. So if you haven't, feel free to do that as well. I'll give you the number that you can be able to contact me on directly. So I don't know whether you guys have checked out the different types of accounts that you can start trading with. This is a common question that usually comes up. So as I was saying earlier, you are starting small. You are starting small. And so if you are starting small, the appropriate account, for instance, for you, you can, say, well, I want to start small. I have, some, reasonable, affordable capital here, and I'd love to start small. So you should check out the cent account, for instance. And with a cent account, you can start trading, with less than, with $1. That's the cent account. Can see we have a question here. Oh, okay. Yes, I am sharing my number with you. Okay. Unfortunately, it's a new number. I haven't even crammed it, so let me just check it out. Where is that number? Yeah, so I was talking about the cent account. That's a place where you can, start. You can start with that. I am a big believer in, baby steps. I'm a big believer in that. Rome was not built in a day. It wasn't. And it was one of the most powerful empires. It wasn't built in a day. So, you want to build your empire. And so you cannot build it in a day. And if you manage to build it in a day, then that means the foundation is shaky as well. Okay. I'm writing down my number. So there you go, Anne. There you go. I sent it there. So yeah, I was talking about the cent account. That's a very, very good place to start. That's a very, very good place to start. So Christian is asking, what are the best trades to begin with? I'm not sure if I understand that question. The best trades. I can't say they are the best trades. They are not best trades. The question is the best risk size, you see. And we've said you only risk what you can afford to lose. Okay. All trades are created equal. They are not, these are the best trades, these are the bad trades. Don't go into the financial markets with that bias. Go with the mentality of, okay, what is the best risk that I can take relative to the size of my trading account? Okay. Also, if you haven't yet completed with your registration, or if you are new here, you can start by checking out what we call V exclusive. V exclusive means you can basically start, when you start registering, you start to unlock points. Okay, you start to unlock points when you start the registration process. Let's say you're submitting your documents. Let's say you have, let's look at the rewards here. So you earn what you call Valetax coins. Every activity brings you closer to curated rewards. The more you trade, the more you earn. Complete activities such as what? Simple account registration. getting verification, deposits, and more. Then you start earning these Valetax points and you can redeem these rewards. Okay, you can redeem these rewards. So, for example, Elite Access will give you access to features and events. You can have luxury rewards, exclusive gifts, flexible choices for preferred rewards, exclusive bonuses for trading and margin support. Can be extra margin in your trading account. So, what are the 8 ways that you can unlock the exclusive? Simple account registration, account verification. You're getting rewarded to get your account verified. Your first deposit. And you haven't even yet started trading. You're not even talking about trading. The first trade that you complete, the first completed trade, imagine, doesn't matter the size. First trade to be executed on copy trading, your monthly depositing activity, you're also getting rewarded for that. For your monthly trading activity, you're also getting rewarded for that as well. Okay, so guys, thank you very much. If there are no further questions, I would love to take this opportunity and thank you all for being here. Let's make this a culture. Let's be in contact the whole time. I've given out my number. You have any challenges, feel free to contact me. Don't struggle on your own. Okay? Don't struggle on your own. That's why I'm here. That's why we are here. That's why the team is here. We would love to give you the best service that you can have, the best education that you can have. So now that we are in contact, set up a webinar even for complete total beginners. What is trading? What is forex trading? I'm going to let you guys know. I'm going to notify you guys. So yeah, see you guys. And as we usually say, happy hunting, happy trading, green pips to you all. Oh, I can see someone saying the MT5 hanged on me. Trade me the running profits, but when I attempted to quickly close to avoid loss, it hanged until I lost. So for this one, you can contact the trading desk. You can contact the trading desk for that and get in touch with me, and then I can help you, put you through. So when is the next class? The next class will be today is what, 28th of April. It will be, I'm checking the calendar, it will be next week. So next week, that is in May, I'll communicate about the next class. But again, as I've said, reach out to me. If you reach out to me, we can even set up a class together. We can have a beginners class together. We don't even have to stick to, the next calendar period. It depends with your need, the need that you have. So I am constantly training, okay? Constantly, even there on WhatsApp. I'm constantly doing it throughout. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, with that, I wish you a very good night, wonderful night. Remember, use the demo account to monitor your behaviors. Use it to monitor your behaviors. Go to that demo account, load it up, load it up with what? With $1,000. For example, you're planning to start your trading with $1,000. No worries. Load it up with $1,000. Load it up with $500, $100. See your patterns. See how you behave under pressure. Note all those things. Journalize all those things. That will be a very great start for you. You'll be starting from a point of getting to understand who you are and how the market affects you, how losses affect you, and equally how profits affect you. Do they make you cocky, overconfident? Have a very wonderful night, everyone. Let's talk on the other side. See you guys on the other side.